Now, I'm going to start by saying I'm kind of upset because I didn't really have as much time with this game as I wanted to. Hint, hint, why the title is the way it is. So I'm just going to talk to you about my experience with this game and what I thought about it with the limited time I had to play. So I only really got to play this playtest for only, I want to say, I think 2 days, maybe 2 days and a couple of hours, just because I had things going on. So yeah, I really didn't get a lot of time with this game as everybody else who has talked about this game. So one thing I recommend is I would recommend you go check out other channels and other videos if you want to get a lot more detail. I'm only going in with my experience and what I thought about it. So this game is a turn-based game with a card battling system. And usually I'm not always the fan of these kind of games, but I could be honest with you, this game was actually really fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. One thing I would tell you is don't do what I did and just play the game and not actually read what the cards do. I only did that because I only had so much time with this game, so I just kind of rushed through it, just started, you know, pressing every card and seeing what happens. But I recommend when you play this game, actually take the time and read what the cards do and know your deck. As for the story setting, and I'm just reading this off of Google, but it is a dark, well, let me correct it. It's a dark sci-fi fantasy where a cosmic disaster called Chaos has consumed planets, including Earth. You play as a captain aboard the spaceship SS Nightmare and lead one of the surviving human factions in a desperate fight for survival. So there's more to it, but that's just a quick summary. But how I felt about the story after playing on the test server, well, the beginning is, at least the intro part was really great. But once you get past that and you get to the overworld, I will have to say it goes really light, really fast. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Starseed, because Starseed, even though it wasn't as dark as this game, Starseed started off, if you haven't played that game, it started off really serious and then it got super lighthearted. And for a game like this, I didn't really like that. I'm okay with lighthearted moments, especially like when you're trying to getting to know different characters in your party, but I felt like it got too light, and I hope that it keeps a lot more of the darker themes, because I am playing this for a really darker storyline. Now, I'm not against the lighthearted moments. In a game like this, you need them, but I just feel like it just went way too light, too fast, and I don't know, I just think that, you know, I just wanted to keep it a little darker than where it went. Although I do want those, feel-good moments and those light-hearted moments to also be in the game. I hope I'm explaining that right. Now, when it comes to the characters, I actually do like a lot of these characters. I like their designs. I definitely have my favorites, which I'll get into when I get to the gacha system. But just talk about the character design. I love the animated cutscenes. I do like the setting and the theme of this game. I love the animation. I'll be honest though, I'm usually not a big fan of chibis. When I see chibi art, that art style tends to kill a lot of games for me. Now, there are some exceptions, like I play Fire Emblem Heroes, but for the most part, if it's chibi, I'm not really a big fan of that art style. But in this game, because the way they use chibi with the actual full-on animated character fighting, like that mixture, I thought was really good. So because of that, you know, when you put work into it, especially into the chibi art style, it's not as bad. And I think with this game, it definitely doesn't bother me at all. They actually did a really good job. The art direction, that's what it's called. They did a really good job with the art direction. That's what I was trying to say. So the gameplay, and I already touched on it before with the card battling system. And like I said earlier, make sure to read your cards. Again, it was a lot funner than I thought. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it like that, but I did. Now, the one thing I was trying to find, but I couldn't find, was looking at your cards and looking at the cards that you have, because I was trying to figure out, how does the card system fully work? Like, are you going to be able to select cards, you know, in your deck? Can you see them? Can you see what they do in the game? If you do certain attacks, or do they merge and become other cards? Like, I just had a lot of questions that I didn't really get a lot of answers to, because again, I didn't have that much time with the game. So I looked for it for a little bit, but I didn't spend that long, you know, basically looking for the answer to that question. I mean, how I was thinking out, again, this is how I was thinking in my head. It's basically each character has a deck of cards, and then maybe they have a gacha where you can summon for more cards for each character, and these cards can be added to their decks to give them new moves or special moves. That's just kind of what I was thinking, what was happening in my head, but I don't think that's how it works at all. I don't even know if there's a gacha card system. I don't really know anything about that. As I recorded this video, I don't really have a lot of answers for the card system. So hopefully someone in the comments will have an answer. So if you do, please put it in the comments down below, because I do want to know more about how the card system works. And in fairness to me, if they did go over it or talk about it within the game, either I skipped past it or I forgot about it, because like I said, I had limited time with the game, so I was trying to see as much of it as I could. Now, my most disappointing parts of this system was the mind break mechanic. I was highly disappointed in that system, because when you get into a mind break, you just kind of freeze up and you can't really do much. It just stops, and then you got to hit cards to get your character back. And how I thought the system was going to be was more going to be like a high risk, high reward. So I'm just going to give you an example. So maybe a character loses their mind and their attack goes way up, but the negative is that some of their attacks, because they kind of go berserk, they'll attack your allies. Or maybe they'll do a full heal, but then because like one of their mind breaks are like fearful, so they'll use another unit to stand in front and take the attack. That's what I was expecting the mind breaking system to be, where you may get one or two benefits from being in a mind break mode, but is it worth the negatives that come from it? You know, so like maybe one character, their mind break, like I said, goes berserk, but their defense goes super low, so the attack goes up extremely high, but their survivability is trash. Or maybe like a healer, when their mind broke, they can't heal anymore, but they may boost your defense. And sometimes, yeah, the cards you can't do anything. Like, because again, the mind break to me should have been more of a high risk, high reward system. So the bonuses can be amazing when you're mind broken, depending on what it is, but it can have very severe consequences. So that's why I said the mind breaking system, I was just kind of disappointed, because that's how I was thinking it was going to work, and it didn't really work like that. So I can't really talk about many of the other modes because I didn't get that much time with them, and I don't really remember them very well off the top of my head. And plus I lost some footage, but I can remember the main storyline. Okay, I'm cutting it right here because nope, I lied. I don't remember how the main storyline functions because I had to look at my footage and see the first time we recorded this, I said this completely wrong. So to re-record this, from looking at the footage, it seems like they separated the story and the battle into two different areas. And I'll be honest, I I was hoping the story will be more like Epic 7, where you have some battle moments and then you can keep going through the story. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it does get kind of annoying because you just want to get to the story and you don't want to just fight all the time. But I just rather some of those scenes, like I'm okay with there being like just a regular fighting, a mode where you actually go through the game and go through the adventures, which is fine. But I more like an Epic 7 where the story is with the missions. But at the same time, I think, and again, I can't remember off the top of my head. That's why I had to re-record this part. I think how it works is that you go through the story and then you have to beat certain battle missions to progress. So I guess that works. I guess that's a good workaround. So you kind of keep it separate. So I don't know. Again, I gotta replay it. I thought I remembered this a lot better than what I did, but I didn't. So I guess this is kind of my thoughts looking at the footage. But I'm gonna more wait till launch so I can actually see how it works. Now I want to talk about the gacha mechanic. So the first thing I want to tell everybody that be ready to reroll. Trust me, you're gonna need to reroll because summoning in this game, I'm gonna be honest with you, the rates, at least my feelings on it, feels really bad. Like the rates feel really bad in this game to the point where it's like these rates are not good, and I recommend you start the game with the character that you want. So anybody wants to play this game, I recommend you reroll. I'm always gonna reroll. Make sure you reroll in this game. Actually, never rephrase this point. Most likely, you're probably not gonna get what you want, but if you do, don't worry about it. But most likely, be prepared to reroll. So I'm cutting this in from the future, and I'm going to just give you my honest truth. When I judge gacha mechanics, I more judge it more based on how I feel about it than how it works. But I kept hearing people complain about the 50-50 gacha system because this game does have a 50-50 gacha system. And first I want to explain it, and then from there I'll tell you how I feel about it, which I think I feel how everybody else feels. But basically, how a 50-50 system works, and I'm reading this on Google, a limited banner pops up, whether it's a 5-star, UR, SSR, in this game it's a 3-star, whatever it is, it depends on the game. So the banner comes up for the limited character that you want. You summon on that banner, you have a 50-50 chance to get the banner character. If you don't, you could come back and summon on the banner again to actually get the banner character. To clarify, if it has a pity system, you're basically gonna have to pity twice. Now, me personally, I don't really mind a 50-50 gacha system. And you're wondering why I'm quiet. Because there's a but. And the but is, I don't mind it, but either the drop rates need to be really high or the summoning currency needs to be very, very giving. And I'll be honest with you, with this game and how the summoning rates were, yeah, I will honestly say this is, unless your drop rates are really extremely high or you get a ton of summoning currency, yeah, this system is bad. I do not like it, and it probably needs to be dropped. And I hope before the game comes out, they do something with it, whether they up the drop rates or just something, because yeah, how it is now, the 50-50 system is not gonna work, and pretty much I recommend you reroll because yeah, these rates, at least how I felt, weren't that good. Oh, sorry about that. I need to make a correction. I said this game has a 3-star summoning system. No, it's a 5-star. Sorry about that. I don't know. No, I know why I said 3-star, because I was playing a different gacha game when recording this video, but my fault. That's another question I need to add. This is a 5-star summoning system, which means the higher rarity characters are 5-star, and then you go from 5-star to 4-star to 3-star to 2-star to 1-star. The best characters are 5 stars, the worst characters are typically your 1 stars. My bad, I need to make that correction. Now with that being said, let's get back to it. So I wanted to go ahead and take the time to point out there are 3 characters when I play this game that stood out that I really want to go for upon launch. The first one is Cassius. I like his gambling mechanic. I really do. I like his shuffle mechanic. I always like mechanics like that. In a card game like that, I think he's going to be pretty key. And I just like the way he plays. So he's one of the characters I'm going for, and he's a 4-star. The second one was Hugo, which he was a beast for me. He was putting in work. I absolutely did like him. And the last character who I'm going to go for, who was really good, was Ren. Ren was doing damage. I freaking like Ren. She was clearing stages for me. So those are my 3 targets. I also got Luke as a 5-star, but I'll be honest, I wasn't really the biggest fan of Luke. So those are pretty much my targets. Cassius as a 4-star, Ren, and Hugo. Other notable characters that I heard were good that I looked up. One was Amir, which I actually had her and I used her for a little bit. And again, I needed more time with her to really know how good she was going to be. But yeah, I actually did have her on my team, and she's a 4-star. Chiron, which all the gameplay footage I saw, it seemed like so many people got that character, and I heard he was good. Calliope, I heard good things about her. And the last one was Mika as a healer. So those are the notable characters I heard about. I never used them. Outside of, like I said, the only characters that I had that I can remember that I used was Cassius, Amir, Hugo, Ren, Ray, Owen, Maribel, Mika, and Luke. I think I'm missing a couple of characters too, but that's all I can remember off the top of the dome. But yeah, so those are all the characters that I've used and that I know about. And like, again, the 3 that stood out is Cassius, Ren, and Hugo for me, who I actually used. One more thing I would like to mention, and that is I hope they're going to be as generous as they were on the test server for the summoning currency, at least for the first couple of weeks when this game launches. Because from my experience on the test server, to be honest, those summoning rates weren't that great. So I really hope that they give us enough, or I should say a significant amount of summoning currency to make up for that, at least for the first couple of weeks. Now, be aware, these are my feelings after playing the playtest, just off the top of the dome. So again, if there's any changes, let me know in the comments down below. And I hope this video helps you out. But I'll say this overall, I think this is a great game and has a great potential. I hope they fix the gacha system, because I'm telling you, that gacha system is going to be the thing to make or break this game. But at the end of the day, I actually have fun with this game, and I am definitely going to pick this game up. And actually, this game may become a mainstay on this channel. And if you have any advice, any suggestions, anything that I need to know, or you want to let the community know, please comment down below, because I'm definitely going to be playing this game. Trying to decide if I'm going to live stream in day 1, but I'm definitely going to play it day 1. And yeah, any little bit helps. So with that being said, thank y'all. I want to remind y'all this was a play test. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video. Real quick, before I head out, I want to mention this. As the release of this video, yes, there was a developers update, and they talked about a lot of the changes, a lot of the fixes to the game. and they definitely address some of the things I said in this video, so I recommend you check that out. I will link it down below because there's a lot better channels than mine that will do a way better breakdown than I could ever do. Like I said, I'm more of a casual gacha player, so I don't always go in depth or into the weeds of things. So I recommend you can check out those channels, but I will link it down below so you can check it out for yourself. But once again, I will say, yes, there are some issues that they address. So make sure to check that out because this was recorded before that came out. So once again, I want to thank y'all for checking out this video, and yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you plan on re-rolling, and also let me know who you're going for. With that being said, have a good one.